Welcome. Welcome to Arts at the Capitol Theater 2020 commencement ceremony. While this may not have been how we pictured spending this moment with each other, this evening we are celebrating. Before we begin, please keep in mind all the social distancing measures that have been clearly communicated to you all. Again, this wasn't how we pictured, but this is what we need to do to keep each other safe and to make sure this evening runs as smoothly as possible. Please remain in your vehicles whenever possible. If you need to exit your vehicle, security can help guide you to where you need to go, and please make sure you have masks on. We have professional pictures available to all of you. We have live stream available, so those of us who can't be with us this evening can watch from the comfort of their home, and we'll have a professional video available to you after the event as well. This senior class excels in many ways. They are a class that stands out as talented artists. They are academically motivated, and they have continued to challenge the status quo both inside of our school and outside in their own towns and communities since they entered with us as ninth graders. There have been many people who have helped these students accomplish great things. First, I want to thank our agency, EastCon, our executive director, Gary Malla, and our director of Leading and Learning, Diane Dugas, for their continued support of our program. I would also like to thank you all, parents, families, friends, who have spent countless hours driving students back and forth from rehearsals, watching countless hours of performances, and being the cheerleaders that we needed in the wings to advocate for our program. Last, I want to thank the ACT staff. ACT staff members have worked tirelessly over the past 4 years, and especially the last couple months, to create meaningful virtual experiences for our students. And they deserve a huge thank you for this. I would like to take this moment to thank all of you for your dedication and support to help the students along the way. This year's class is ACT's 10th group of seniors to graduate our full-day Integrated Arts Magnet program. This is a huge milestone for EastCon, our school community, and for these students. This evening is a celebration of growth for a group of individuals who are ready for life after ACT. When trying to select a keynote speaker for this evening, I felt great pressure. I wanted to pick the perfect person to help make the perfect evening the students deserved. I wanted someone who would know what these students needed to hear to get them excited and empowered to move forward in life. Our keynote speaker is a theater artist with a wide and varied background in the arts, holding 3 degrees in the field, one of which is an MFA in acting and theater from UConn. She is an acting and vocal coach with extensive knowledge of dialects for the stage. She has performed in over 12 states as an actress. She is a trained stage makeup artist and has worked as TV makeup artist for ABC News. This person served as an instructor of acting at Eastern Connecticut State University for over 17 years, where she directed many productions. She also served as a visiting assistant professor of theater at UConn and the University of Rhode Island. She is also one of the founding members of ACT, who has throughout the past 17 years create a program that has sent students to strong acting and theater programs like UConn and NYU. She continues to foster commitment to excellence in performing arts and in academics for her students, as well as imbuing her students with a lifelong love of theater. Please help me welcome ACT's own Sandra Evans-Abbott to the stage.
Big sigh. A clip. Wow. I almost didn't recognize myself from that introduction. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, Diane and Gary and all of ACT staff for helping me feel so honored and welcome and humbled by your invitation to speak to you tonight. 10th graduating class, full day class. There were 7 other classes before you that were in the half-day program. So this is quite a special night. I want to congratulate your families as well, your parents and your families. I do think perhaps that you might have been expecting somebody different, like perhaps Meryl Streep or Michelle Obama or Nora Ephron or maybe even Ellen DeGeneres. Well, it turns out they all had previous engagements and couldn't be here tonight. So you got me. Surprise! So we're going to make the best of it. So for the past almost 3 weeks, I have, as that wonderful American playwright Edward Albee once said, been with play. But, well, I have been with speech. I have been writing, researching, rewriting, first for a videotaping and then for a live event. And I would just like to say, like so many other times in the past 3+ months, that this is a first. I have never in my entire career played to a parking lot full of cars. And I really appreciate you not running the vehicles so there's not a lot of carbon monoxide. So let's make this count. This is a new communal experience for all of us. I would like to start by congratulating all of our 33 graduating seniors of ACT's 10th full day program and their parents and families. For without their support and sacrifices, our graduates would not have achieved such inspiring and audacious first steps towards their dreams. So before I begin the kind of commencement address that perhaps, well, maybe you're expecting, I would like to share a few fun statistics about the graduating class of 2020. Remembering that Shakespeare said, "Brevity is the soul of wit." So I'll try to keep it brief. And present mirth hath present laughter. What's to come is still unsure. Here we go. ACT's 33 graduates, most born in 2002, are part of an estimated 3.7 million graduating high school seniors, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. You are all in good company as members of Generation Z and now the forever labeled the Corona class. You were 6 years old when Obama won the presidency in 2008. You were 5 years old when the first iPhone was released in 2007. You were 4 years old when Twitter started. You were 3 years old when YouTube launched. You were 2 years old when Facebook launched. You are younger than the iPod, launched in 2001. And here's my personal favorite. SpongeBob SquarePants is older than you. The first episode aired in 1999. And I'm sure this is your favorite. Texting, invented in 1992, is older than both the high school and college graduating classes of 2020. So what does this mean? I think that these very revealing facts about a graduating class of digital natives speaks to their advanced technological futures, and that it is up to them to perfect teleportation and time travel, because, well, we might really need it. So, this is the serious part, the part you might have been expecting. Tonight, you all reap the rewards of your 4 years of hard work, I ask you to look back on the past 4 years and remember those moments that got you to this moment. The transformation is amazing. And you're all sitting in cars. Think of the moments that you thought you couldn't succeed. The moments that you pouted. The moments that you sulked. The moments that you screamed. The moments that you cried. And then I want you to remember and think of all of the moments that you soared. I know these moments happened, as do your parents, for these moments are imprinted on their hearts that are right at this moment, swelling full of love and pride for you. And I remember them as well, and how. And here you are. You made it. In spite of all the histrionics, and perhaps because of them, you are ready to embark on a journey that is all your own, in a strange new world reshaped by 2 global crises: a medical pandemic that impacted and altered the end of your high school career, and a social pandemic, which has already awoken your world to a necessity for global change. I urge all of you to be a part of this brave new world. Cottonmouth. Those of you who know me well know that I rarely mince words. I don't pull punches. I have always tried throughout my long career to practice honesty and kindness and tough love when needed. So I hope that my words tonight have followed the same directness while inspiring all of you to make your lives count by following your passion and being a part of a global healing of both pandemics. And here's where it gets rough, so bear with me. Every period in history has relevant words. Your generation has now been defined in part by relevant words. Some words in history remain relevant for all time and should not be forgotten. I can't breathe are some of those words. These words will remain throughout history as a reigniting of a movement for justice for all and should not be changed or forgotten. But there are some words that I want you to reclaim, that I give you in a word bank for your futures. Words that I want you to reclaim and use in a new sentence. A sentence that you write about yourselves. The words are unprecedented, unchartered, challenging, extraordinary, uncertain, frightening, courageous. Reclaim these words. Give them a new place in your future. Take them beyond COVID-19 and into the next better thing. As an actor and a director, I know that words are only given meaning by the intent behind them. Give these words new intentions. Here is my sentence. I wish for you all an unprecedented life, a life that may often seem too challenging or even frightening. I wish for you all extraordinary courageousness in the face of uncertainty. So, I leave you with this: promise and potential. are very fickle. You are never going to be who you are right now again. Things change quicker than you can ever imagine. Don't waste this time. Strive every day to do and be more than tomorrow, because tomorrow is more elusive than today. Don't waste this time. Do what you love. The rest will follow. Don't trade, sell, or give away your passion. And remember, the only real failure is the failure to try. And the true measure of success is how you cope with disappointment. When life gives you lemons, and no, I'm not going to say what you think I'm going to say, keep them, because hey, free lemons! And because I cannot send you off without this more personal note, taken from that wonderfully direct poet, E. Cummings. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. And with this final apt phrase and a wink and a nod to Carl, live long and prosper. Thank you.
I don't know how I'm going to follow Sandra, but I'm going to try. I could stand here and tell you that the past 13 years of my life were the best, but I would be lying. If you had asked me 3 years ago if I thought I would be standing here speaking at my high school graduation, I wouldn't have believed you. Hell, if you told me I'd spend my senior year running on Dunkin' coffee and Red Bull at 8 a.m., I also wouldn't have believed you, but that's exactly what I did. Growing up, I was faced with bullying. Teachers who would make fun of me for not understanding subjects, years of hiding in the nurse's office every day to avoid reality, and being shut down by anyone and everyone time and time again. I was always told to speak my mind. Never let someone dull your sparkle, as they say. Yet there was always someone who would try to prove me wrong. And unfortunately, that will always happen. But fortunately, I'm not the type of person to let that happen, so we don't really have a problem now, do we? I stand here today with the class of 2020. A group of talented, beautiful souls who have been overlooked like I have, who have been told that we don't understand because we are just kids, who were told by our teachers when we were younger that we wouldn't be doctors because we were female or not smart enough, but are now going to medical school. Yes, this happened. How rude, right? We have grown up around war, stock market crashes, pandemics, and injustice against our differentiating communities. Around people of power who make us fear for our future, a world of violence and hate. However, we still persisted. And now we are graduating to what we were hoping would be hand in hand, but is more like rearview mirror to rearview mirror. I walked into our small community not knowing a single person, and I am now walking out with a group of people who know me better than I know myself. Sometimes it's a blessing, other times not so much. I walk out with a group of friends who make me laugh until I cry, who cry with me when my world is falling down around me, who gave me a reason to persevere these past 4 years, and who make jokes about my scoliosis almost as much as I do. This community has given me teachers who have changed my life, who have shown me nothing but love, who invited me to eat eclairs in the staff lounge. Teachers who made me cry every day in the bathroom because I didn't understand music theory my freshman year, but helped me discover my passion for music, and also gave me inspiration for my senior project. Teachers who held me in front of my English class the Monday after my father passed just because they didn't want me to feel alone. Teachers who I've had multiple dance parties with before shows. Teachers who felt the same things I have and used that to help push me forward. Teachers who have not only educated me on the arts and the generalized education, but on what it means to love and be myself, an experience I don't think I would have had at another school. I walked this rented stage in a parking lot today to show everyone who doubted me that I did it. I walked this stage for my father, who died the March of my freshman year, and who would have been crying if he were in this crowd today, like he did every time I sang. But most importantly, I walked this stage with a group of people I consider my family, a group of seniors who every day amaze me. You all defy the odds and make me proud to know you. I have seen you all grow so much these past 4 years, from the annoying freshmen yelling to the seniors who complain about the annoying freshmen yelling, but are also doing amazing things together. I love you all, and I will never forget our time spent together. I guess now is when I enter a quote for you all to remember in the years to come. So in the wise words of Gerard Way, be yourself, don't take anything from anyone, and never let them take you alive. Thank you. I would now like to welcome our class valedictorian, Aurora Buswell. Go stand on the X. On the X. I don't want to turn your tassel. Oh, there's so much to do. Yay. There you go. Good job.
Okay. Before I say anything, I feel like the only appropriate thing to start this off with is it's really, really weird to see all you guys. Seriously, before I spent so much time trying to figure out how to start this off with before I realized what I really need to say is, hi, long time no see, without having to figure out if my mic is really on or not. It is on, isn't it? The speech admittedly is much different than what I was expecting when I was predicted to be the valedictorian at the beginning of this year. I mean, I was not expecting to care this much. But usually when people are giving this speech, it's a final goodbye. It still is, but oddly, it's also the first real hello in a while. Which honestly makes me feel a little more than I want to admit, or feel, period. With that, I feel like I need to address the elephant in the parking lot. I have been feeling pretty down and lonely through this thing. This thing meaning high school. Yeah, I know everyone is feeling down and lonely in high school. But the reason I feel like I need to address this is the fact that, in part, I think my loneliness was born of the same thing that allowed me to stand up here and give this speech for you guys. Through my years at ACT, I spent so much energy holding myself to ridiculous standards that I never really let myself breathe. Treating myself like a machine left me feeling a little disconnected from our community, no matter how physically involved I was. In fact, it really wasn't until the quarantine struck that I really came to realize just how much I wanted to feel immersed in our community. Don't get me wrong, I still did feel pretty disconnected, but in a strange way, I also started to feel more connected. Now that we were all trapped on unstable ground, it seemed that we simply had no choice but to ignore all previously built-up barriers if we wanted to end our year strong. I felt like I was a part of this force to overcome this impossible obstacle for a school like ours, even if I did feel like just a cheerleader. I watched as my peers bravely took this on as just another new challenge, instantly coming up with ways to not combat, but adapt to this now unchangeable obstacle. Instead of wallowing in what we could have done if we'd have known, our students took the bull by the horns and said, okay, where do we go from here? I mean, the actors in the AV department joined forces to come up with a radio play, while the writers held a virtual coffee house while most of the school attended. Student leaders like Mariah, Ellis, and Sierra, and Madison came up with creative ideas on how to celebrate graduation and stay connected, and even be a beacon for underclassmen who were so lost. I couldn't help but be so amazed with the grace that they handled the stupid thing. I felt proud, and humbled even, to be associated with them in any way at all. This was what made it clear to me that we are a class that gives, not takes. We are fiercely resilient, politically vocal, unflinchingly passionate, and most important of all, we are fearlessly kind. That's cool. Now, my fellow graduates, here's what I see as the hard truth. Yes, we were robbed. Not only of a celebration, a goodbye, we were robbed of a transition. We were robbed of security. By a world which favors success over safety, community, justice. All the while, leaving us here in a parking lot. The world is on fire, and it's not going to stop just because we're graduating. But I could not be more confident that we are the ones with the capability to put that fire out. It's easy to fall into a slump of it's not fair. It would be easy to get stuck on what we missed out on, but we can't, and we aren't going to. If the way we handled this pandemic is any indication of how we were about to take on this world, riddled with issues generations before us have left us to solve, we are going to be able to solve it. Our generation is criticized for being soft. I challenge those from generations before us to go ahead and call us soft now. I watched this pandemic force my peers into the role of breadwinner, caretaker, mediator, innovator. I pose the idea that we are not soft, but adaptable. If we are soft, it is like putty, molding in seconds to the most productive shape for any situation without skipping a beat. And also, we're pretty near impossible to tear apart. To me, it is strikingly clear that we are more than ready for the world before us. And for that matter, a world which is not about to hand anything to us. Although I felt a bit like I was always on the emotional sidelines, I have nothing but admiration for my class. There is not one iota of doubt in my mind that we're gonna go far, kids. You guys are the greatest. I really, really never say this unless I mean it, but I love you guys. Go get 'em. Also, no justice, no peace. Now what?
Go stand on the X. The X. Okay. X them. Turn your tassel. Take a picture. All right, you're all set. At this time, we will present the remaining members of the class of 2020 with their diplomas. Graduates will walk in order to the end of their parking row, maintaining adequate distance, and make their way toward the stage, following the arrows. As your names are called, graduates will be able to step up onto the stage, collect your diploma, move over to the X, turn your tassel, and exit the stage to get pictures taken. Graduates in the first row, parking spots 1 through 12, please exit your vehicles and make your way towards the stage. Audience, if you can please hold your applause and horn noise until the last student receives their diploma to ensure all students' names are heard, it would be very much appreciated. Please welcome ACT School Counselor Anna Hilby to the podium.
Carl Arthur Baker Jr. William Beaudry. Mariah Violet Bonanno, receiving the Principal's Award, demonstrating essential qualities of an outstanding ACT student, the Katie Jackson Scholarship, continuing education in dance or music, the Florence Kaylard Scholarship, honors student furthering studies in their art with significant community involvement, and the PAC Scholarship. Martha Brewster. Kalian McKinnon Brown. Olivia Beverly Pauline Burrell. Leah Cassidy. Can seniors in spaces 13 through 25 please exit their vehicles and follow the arrows to line up? Sierra Lynn Cunningham. Rachel Lynn Charon. Mark Demaro Jr. Denard Alonzo Hill Dunlap. Take your mask off. Tiani Gardner. Jesse Gillette. Diamond Rose Green. Cassandra Lee Hernandez. Trevor Howard, receiving the Pact Scholarship. India Harper, receiving the Katie Jackson Scholarship for continuing education in dance or music. Ian R. Harris. Can seniors in spaces 26 through 33 exit their cars and follow the arrows to line up? Angelique Sally Aza Jones. Noah J. Kaiser. Brianna Landon. Ellis McGinley Knapp, receiving the Pact Scholarship. Vanessa Delgado Gomez. Bailey McMaster. Samuel Merritt. Madison Ray Nelson. Leilani Ramos. Nayeli Evangeline Ramos. Lauren Elizabeth Ruggiero. Evelyn Darby Stinson. Summer Grace Stoddard.
So before I dismiss this class for the last time, I wanted to take a moment to share some last pieces of advice for all of them. Many of you have heard these words before, as we've been together for 4 years now. I remember meeting many of you out recruiting or on your audition day. Many of you have sat for countless hours with me in my office, not because you were in trouble, but because you just wanted to talk about what was on your mind that day or had an awesome new idea that you were excited to share with me. You have all grown up so much. I hope when you hear these words in your head down the road, you stop and think of this special place you got to be a part of for the last 4 years because you chose to be a part. These are my rules to live by. Number 1 is stay positive. There are many negative things that can happen in life and many negative people in our worlds. Positivity gets you through the darkest of times and provides you hope, dreams, and aspirations that things will get better and can get better. Number 2, take responsibilities for your actions. People mess up. All of you have messed up at some point over the last 4 years. When you mess up, own it. Admit it to yourself, to the people you love, to your coworkers, your professors, and your bosses. When you own your mistakes, you can learn from them and move on. Number 3, give yourself a respect check. Over the past 4 years, our school's core values have been drilled into your brains. But really, take time to think about what they mean. Respect yourself, respect the work, respect the community. When you respect people and the things they do, you will generally be respected in return. Stay committed. You have all signed commitment forms throughout your time at ACT. You have learned that when you commit to something or someone, you have to follow through with that commitment, no matter how tough things get, no matter how long rehearsals are, no matter how hard you have to work. Don't forget the amazing things, amazing feelings you feel, let me try that again. Don't forget the amazing feelings you have when you accomplish something you committed to. Number 5, don't sweat the small stuff. There are going to be times in life when you are going to be upset or nervous or angry about things. Don't let these feelings overcome you. Know when something is worth being upset about, and know when something is small enough to let go and move on. You have all had the chance to come to our beautiful school and learn from the best teachers and artists I know. You've had the chance to participate in performances that will be remembered for many years to come, both in person and virtually. Take what you have learned here and do something big. Make the world remember you for doing great things. Most importantly, remember you can always come home, back to ACT, to share your stories and your new experiences with us. Thank you for all you have done to contribute to our school community. I now dismiss the class for the last time. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
I get up, I get down, and I'm jumping around. And the rumpus and ruckus are comfortable now. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow. So I got an apartment across from the park. Put quinoa in my fridge, still I'm not feeling right. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to go.
Here we go.
So